What's up, everyone? This is Dale from Upstate Bets and DFS. I'm here with my partner Reoz, bringing you guys this 9-game slate here on Wednesday on prizepicks. So, thank you for joining us here on prizepicks. We got player props here for the NBA. Sometimes we do some NFL videos on the island games, but usually we cover just NFL slates on the Sundays. So thank you guys for hopping in. We've been growing at a tremendous rate. We just hit over 1,000 subs. Like, we wanted to hit that before the new year, but you guys have been absolutely smashing it. We're almost at 1,200 before the new year, which is absolutely amazing. You can sign up using promo code Upstate on PrizePicks if you haven't signed up for PrizePicks yet, and that'll give you a 100% deposit match on your first deposit. So if you deposit 100, you get 100 back to play with. So you're instantly doubling your money. Awesome way to play. It's very simple. You take a player prop like Domantas Sabonis here is at 19.5. You could take the over/under on him, someone like Rozier, Miles Turner. But there's a lot of wild things going on in the NBA. If you tuned into the video yesterday, we talked about it. It's still going on, man. I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of news changing, minute after minute. We had some picks on the Patreon a couple nights ago. We did our articles, and then right after, people were getting listed out, so we got to scramble to get things going. We do offer a free Discord down in the description. A lot of people are staying updated on that. We got over almost 300 members on there, which is amazing. So that's a really great community. You can hop in, and people are really all over on top of things when we are, when we're just trying to scramble ourselves to find out the most news that we can, checking Twitter, stuff like that. So we're going to try to get this best we can. We just kind of been breaking down these slates because it's been tough. Things have been flying off the screen, coming back on as people get listed out or they come back in. So there's been some really good discounts. I like this here. But like I said, we do offer a Patreon, and Ria's going to tell you about it.
Yeah, great night on the Patreon. Dale went 4-0. Unfortunately, I went 1-3. But the best thing with the Patreon is you get my picks and Dale's picks, and just like Prize Picks, you can mix and match both of our plays, and it's just a great value. We do a lot of research. We take a lot of time into our picks. No picks given or our gut feeling. It's all research based, and we're feeling really good about the Patreon, and I definitely recommend getting in there, signing up. It charges you on the first of the month, so if you want to wait, but there's no better time than the first of the month to come in and join. And we're getting some stuff worked out on there that are coming pretty soon. So definitely check into that. And it's www.patreon.com/upstate.
Exactly, man. It's been awesome. Thank you for everyone who's joined so far. I hope you found some tremendous value out of the things we've offered so far. Like I said, we've had some really good nights so far, and if you tailed us on some of these picks, it's been going great for you for sure. I mean, I've been having some really solid nights, especially on the nights when we have NFL and NBA to mix and match on. So the link is also in the description for that. But let's dive into this slate, man. So we got a lot of things going. Like I said, a lot of studs that are out on the slate. A lot of things still ready to be surfaced. But who are you liking here in this points category? I mean, there's probably some guys here that, are kind of some, I'm not going to say no-name guys, but it's just some guys who are really not in the rotation who are coming out and looking like they got some really good lines.
The first guy I really like is Marcus Smart, or Marcus Morris, my bad. Going against Boston, line sitting at 14.5. We've seen 3 games straight now. He scored 24 points. He had 2 against Orlando, which was uh, pretty awful, but he already scored 20 against Boston a couple games ago, so that's really nice to see. No Paul George tonight. They're going to really rely on Morris here tonight to kind of score some points. I mean, on the Boston side, they look pretty healthy. No Jason Tatum, which will kind of keep this game a little bit closer in my eyes, but at 14.5, that line just seems a little too low for someone who already scored 20 points against this team. And he didn't score 24 points against bad teams either. Phoenix is a phenomenal team. Utah plays unbelievable defense, and we know Brooklyn's banged up, but it is what it is in this era that we have NBA right now. And at 14.5, I think it's just a really great line for him tonight.
He definitely looks good. A lot of these guys on this Clippers team look pretty good. I mean, Uh, you know, I'm not big on the Zubac and Man, but Kennard can go out there and hit some shots. Realistically, we haven't seen him much, but we saw a nice breakout game against OKC. Bledsoe's a guy that's been pretty steady around that line all season, but never gonna really smash that line. But he's definitely a guy that's viable night in, night out. The Knicks guys have just been destroying us lately, man. I mean, we had RJ Barrett last night. Um, just a rough outing from him. I don't feel like I can get back to him tonight. At 14 and a half, and we're still waiting on some Cade Cunningham news, which would take away from someone like Frank Jackson and Sadiq Bey. If you really do feel like Cunningham's gonna play, taking an under on Frank Jackson might not be the worst idea, as he's a guy that would probably slip in the rotation a little bit. Even in his last five, realistically, he's only hit four. He's missed four out of the last five. So even with Cade being out. He's a guy that definitely can just still not hit that line. Bay's been tremendous. He's a guy that can hit the 3-2, four out of the last five. So a lot of guys here, especially on this points category. Let's scroll down a little bit, Reoz. Between these Lakers guys, LeBron, who's been playing tremendous, he hit that points line last night. We have John Morant, Desmond Bane. Who in here looks good to you?
I mean, it's really tough to fade LeBron at this point. Just him hitting 5 out of the last 5, scoring 30 points in every single game so far, and against this Memphis team that plays pretty small, uh, and with no Anthony Davis here tonight again, LeBron's in a great spot against Memphis. Even Steven Adams. At 7.5, you could definitely see Steven Adams get there. He had 13 against Phoenix, 10 against Sacramento, and then we saw a little bit later, 13 against Portland. I just feel like when he plays the minutes, he's very viable out there, and they kind of need Steven Adams in this game. The fact that Dwight Howard comes in, no Anthony Davis. The Lakers do play big, but they also have a really nice small lineup with Malik Monk, Bradley or Avery Bradley, and even Noren Tucker. I mean, they play great small ball, but Steven Adams is a real veteran guy that we've seen time after time put up really great numbers. He's got that 20-point upside we saw when he was with the Thunder. So against this Lakers team, 7.5 is a nice little discount, but definitely can't take away from LeBron hitting 5 out of 5 or Desmond Bane just going crazy, scoring 30 points last game.
Yeah, I totally agree. The Lakers' interior defense is awful. If you watched that game last night against the Rockets, really, I mean, they had Carmelo down there, probably playing their best interior defense that they could. Malik Monk's a guy that's been playing really well for the squad too. I mean, he shot 7 3-pointers last night, made 3 of them. He went 3 out of 7 the past 2 games actually, and he's been shooting double-digit shot attempts, playing almost 40 minutes in some of these games. I mean, he looks pretty good. I know it's sketchy kind of going to any of these like sub-star Lakers guys, like someone like a Horton Tucker, someone like a Malik Monk, or like a Bradley. But the two studs at the top, LeBron, he kind of made us sweat last night. Realistically, he didn't hit it until he got those free throws at the end. But he does look good. I don't mind going to him, and I think that's pretty much it in the points category here. I mean, some of these Kings guys, I mean, night in, night out, this is always the late game, and I always just get burnt when I play on these Kings guys. I mean, Holmes has looked just awful. He missed again. I was on him under his fantasy score last night. I didn't even post that. That was just a YouTube pick I put on here, and he absolutely was smashing in the first half, came out in the second half, and just played horrible. So we'll jump over to rebounds, man. And in the rebound category, there's a couple guys that look really good here. I mean, a lot of these guards have been rebounding the ball very well. I mean, someone like a DeMar DeRozan is viable night in, night out. I mean, he's struggled as of late, but all these Chicago guys have just been smashing. So, I mean, one of these guys is going to start to slip a little bit. I don't know which one it's going to be, but they can't all just go out there and smash every night. But, I mean, people like LeBron and stuff are always viable, but who are you going to here?
Yeah, I don't mind this Porzingis line all the way down at the bottom at 8.5. We've seen him get there 4 out of the last 5. 2 of them have been just there, the last 2 at 9. But with no Luca, just a real kind of banged up team for Dallas. And like we said, Holmes has been playing awful. There's real no true center for this Kings team, and the way Porzingis just has been playing as of late, scoring wise, there's no reason why he's not going to play 35 minutes. And he's a big man for being a power forward. Sometimes he plays the small forward on very rare occasions, but at 7'2", 7'1", it's really hard to think on this real undersized Kings team that plays 3 guards that he can't get there tonight.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen some really good games out of him, with them, missing Luca and whatnot. He's had really good scoring outputs, I think, too. And I mean, he's definitely a guy, night in, night out that looks good. Going against Sacramento, too, what I said with Holmes struggling, they've been playing some guys who really have not been in the rotation much, so he has a spot to really smash. Any of these people like a John Morant that we were on early in the season who was smashing this rebound prop, would you want to go to some of those guards like him or someone like at the top like a LaMelo Ball who's triple double viable any night? So any of those guys interest you?
I don't mind LaMelo Ball, just with Bridges being out. PJ Washington is still out. They're kind of running a kind of select few in the rotation here tonight against the Pacers, and we saw these two teams play. I believe twice so far this year, and every single game this year has been just a phenomenal game. And LaMelo Ball has just played awesome against the Pacers every single time they've played. I can't see him not getting almost a triple double and getting 10 boards, 10 assists tonight. But with Bridges being out, it definitely opens up a lot of opportunity for him to grab just a handful of boards. And at 7, it's a nice little line, but not one I'm really loving.
I agree with you too. I mean, like I said, you play for the triple double when you're taking some of those LaMelo lines realistically because you know he can get it any night. Brogdon is questionable. I'm not sure if Brogdon really is going to play or not, but he can give LaMelo Ball some problems. But with Bridges being out, it definitely opens up some opportunities for some guys. Even Gordon Hayward, he hasn't hit in the last 5. I can see people going under there. But I would be wary, with Miles Bridges not being there, could give a big boost to some of these guys. But over in the assist category, um, definitely some lines that I think look pretty good. I've been kind of on Jalen Brunson on and off, really, because, he's been playing pretty well. He did, burn me that game against Utah. I thought he was going to get, actually, I think he pushed that night. I think he might have been right at 6 if you got him early. But his line did creep up, and he ended up missing there. And then anyone else here really interests you, man? I mean, for assists here, still some things that need to open up, but so far, what's on the board? Who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, I was torn between two people last night, and Duncan Robinson and Jimmy Butler, and I was on the complete wrong side of that. But tonight, I think I'm going to be on the right side between DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. With no ball here tonight, it just opens up just a bunch of assists. I mean, they just played each other on the 27th, and DeMar DeRozan had 10 assists. But if you just look, 6 just is way too high. I feel a lot more comfortable going to Levine here at 5.5. He's hit 4 out of the last 5. He also had 9 assists against this Atlanta team, and with no ball, Zach Levine's just gonna handle the ball way more often, and we know him and DeMar DeRozan have been scoring 30 points plus just in the handful of games that Lonzo's been out. So definitely a good spot for Levine here against a team that they just played and he had 9 assists.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. Between the two, I like Levine a lot more. I never really tend to go to centers like a Clint Capella. He's has hit 2 out of the last 5. I'll never really go to a guy who's just sitting at 1.5 as a center. I mean, Cam Reddish is a guy that gets a lot of run, and he's a guy that definitely could go out there and get it. But some of these lines, some of these shooters out there, it just sketches me out. I mean, I learned my lesson with Duncan Robinson. Just a straight shooter. I mean, he'll get 1 assist in the first couple minutes of the game, and he won't get you another one for the rest. It's just crazy to see a guy who will play 35 plus minutes and just not give you 2. Some of those lines are just traps in my opinion. But for me, no one I'm really looking to here. And over in 3-pointers made, I like a couple of these lines for sure. I mean, I was on Fournier on and off a little bit, and he's had a pretty good hit rate over the last 5. But I do expect RJ Barrett to step it up a little bit. But I'm going to go to Rozier here at 2.5. I mean, I've been shooting the lights out, and he's a volume kind of guy. I feel like he gets hot for a couple games, and then he'll start to cool off. So I'm going to try to ride this wave while it's still viable with no Bridges here. A guy that will go out there and give you, honestly, like 15 3-pointers. I mean, he's a guy that really will chuck if he's feeling himself. Even if LaMelo's having a great game, you can kind of correlate these two. LaMelo assists, Rozier. Rozier's a pretty good spot-up shooter. He likes to create off the dribble, but I do think he's in a really good spot, man. I mean, last game, He shot 12 three-pointers and then 10 the 2 games before that. So just in terms of volume, it was similar last night with Malik Beasley. I mean, Malik Beasley has just been chucking. So I go to those guys who I know are going to shoot double-digit shot attempts, and at 2.5, Rozier looks really good.
Without a doubt. Forget all the stats and everything like that. Volume beats everything in the DFS world. If they're shooting, or definitely in the prop game, I mean, if he's shooting 10, 11 threes, it's kind of tough to think he's not going to make three threes. But a guy that I really like here tonight is Zach LaVine. He's another guy that just has tremendous volume. His line's sitting at three. He had five last time these two teams played. He's going on a nice little streak here, and like I said before, I mean, he's just been getting 30 points every given night throughout the whole entire season. It doesn't matter who's out. Definitely took a nice little uptick for usage when DeMar DeRozan was out, but this team's just been playing very well this season, and Zach LaVine is just there's just the volume that he takes is unbelievable. Shooting a really nice percentage as well. So over three is definitely not a bad play in my eyes.
I agree too. I wanted to get to Zach LaVine as well. Looks really good in that spot going against Atlanta. Like I said, all those guys have been playing really well between Vooch and DeRozan and LaVine. But I think what remains stagnant out of all three of those guys, LaVine's going to shoot threes. So I think regardless, he's going to shoot 8 to 10 threes tonight. I really like his percentage from deep. I think he's going to have a really good game there tonight. Over in fantasy score, man. Obviously we got a lot of lines here. Who interests you the most?
There's a lot of guys that I'm really looking at. I think Sadiq Bey definitely gets a nice little uptick with Isaiah Stewart out, Kelly Olynyk out at 34 and a half. Definitely against this pretty awful defense that this Knicks team goes out and plays every single night. We just watched Minnesota just not really pick them apart. That both teams played absolutely horrible, but Detroit just plays this very up pace kind of game, and even with Cunningham in or out, that just kind of provides a little more for Sadiq Bey here tonight.
I agree. Yeah, I talked about Bay in the points category. He's looked really good. Someone at the bottom here, Shea, is a guy that's been absolutely smashing. 5 out of the last 5. I was on him in the second half last night of that Kings game. Smash for me. I really like this play here tonight. Some people are worried about maybe him getting a little bit of rest. Going against Phoenix is a lot tougher of a matchup than what he's faced in the last 5 games. I mean, but he did go for 43 against Phoenix on the 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. So we have seen a good game out of him, and we know the ceiling, man. I mean, 63 going against Denver, and that's in a slow-paced game. Denver plays really slow. They dictate the pace of that game, especially against the Thunder. And there's no Giddy, and he's just been putting up a crazy volume of shots. So Shea looks really good. I want to see a points prop for him for sure, but these guys aren't going to hit over every single night, obviously, but I do like him, especially on this wave that he's been really hot. So who else here? I mean, at the bottom, like I said, the Kings guys, Mavericks guys, anyone here you're looking to?
There's really nobody here that's really drawing my attention. Porzingis' line just seems a little too high, but we know any given night he could go out and smash like he did against Portland for 64. But I would prefer Porzingis' line not that close to 50. And just like Brunson, we know he could have a very slow scoring night where for fantasy score, it just takes a lot to get to that 40 that he really needs to get. We saw him get there against Utah, which was really great to see, but he's not that he's a small guard, so he's not going to get the rebounds. The assists and points are really where he's going to make his fantasy score and trickle in a little some assists there, or steals there, but I can't see getting to any of these guys down here at the bottom.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, not a lot I'm looking down there at the bottom. I mean, I never really go to any of those Kings guys, really. I mean, I was on Healed a little bit, but, he's back, coming down to earth. Really had that game where just against Memphis, only four fantasy points. So, I mean, Barnes, he was smashing early on in the season, but this is about where he's been, pretty much consistent on that line. That's pretty much where he's been sitting. So nothing else for me here. I mean, I think we got a lot of great picks, a lot of good picks on this board. for this Wednesday slate. Usually we got a bunch of games here. We got nines. I mean, there's been some Wednesdays we've had like 13, 14 games. So nice little 9-gamer. Still waiting for some news to come out. But like I said, hop in the free Discord. And if you're interested in some extra picks and some more analysis from me and Reoz, hop in the Patreon, man. The link for that is in the description as well. Thank you guys, and we'll catch you on the next video.